should want more. Some of us have the desire, some of us have the execution, but neither of us ever has both. At least that's what I believe. For example, independence. People see independence, I feel like, in only the smallest ways, such as having financial freedom, along with having a car, and lastly with having one's own space. But isn't there more? There just has to be more. I mean, for example, I'll use my environment. They say one's environment contributes to how you grow up, but it doesn't have to make you. Yet then how come even though I don't even have the funds to travel the country, even with the money, I never desired to go anywhere anyway? Isn't that kind of insane? I'm no better than the dudes on the block who have no desire and no plans at all. They have an excuse. They don't know any better. I do. So what's my excuse? And what's yours? People tell me that I have to travel because once I do, it'll open my eyes like I've never seen before. And I hope they are right. Otherwise, I'm gonna be royally pissed. Honestly. It's not like I've never thought about leaving the country, but Paris is not enough. Like I should want to see the world or experience more in any way I can think of. But why can't I? Because my scope of how far I should look is just that small, I feel. But one day I'm definitely gonna change that. Thus more so should you. If you're one of those people who thinks that all there is Paris and London, you're a part of the... Desire more. There's more to life than having money, having a home, and a car you can drive from A to B. Don't get me wrong, those things are important, but I feel like that's the bare minimum. Isn't there more, or maybe it's just me? How are there so many other luxuries and the only thing people can think of is having a nice car? What about learning a new skill? Or I don't know, how about starting a business that could literally change your life? And quitting your job and doing stocks doesn't make you an entrepreneur. It just makes you everybody else. Because what's your plan? If you're going to desire a dream like I spoke of previously, how are you going to achieve it? You say you want to be an entrepreneur, then stop watching Gary Vee and actually start purchasing something that's actually going to make you a profit. Even if it doesn't, the experience is still good. I can admit that some of my greatest strengths are just being around people and just starting random conversations out of nowhere, and just creating relationships along with that. I'm very advantageous when it comes to doing anything creative. I'll spend weeks, months learning how to do something and then go apply it, and then I'm very fine with being alone. Creating things that take time, I'm just enthralled in. And that's why I do it in the first place. This may seem very simple, but the average person can't do anything. And half the time they're glued to their phone, or too afraid to even start. I feel like our generation is great at saying I would start, but I don't know where. Are you serious? This is literally the age of technology and information. And you're telling me you can't hop on the greatest search engine right now known to man, Google? Like, come on, bro. This is what I mean by wanting more. People aren't even trying. And obviously, if you're already doing these things, this doesn't apply to you. But you're not safe either. I'm sure there are ways you could apply yourself as well. I think everyone should desire more in their own lives, and it doesn't just have to be with travel. I feel too often, due to familiar relationships we have with people, we let that dictate often too much how we allow others to perceive us, and in some cases control how we view ourselves. So it only makes sense that one would and should seek everything in the world they could possibly attain. I mean, as children, we were taught to aim for the moon, and even if we miss, we'll land amongst the stars. Yet none of us are even aiming for the sky. Hardly any of us can walk just far across the ground. Desiring more should be something you should just do because you need to desire more. I feel like we become too complacent after we have minute versions of success. Whether that be making 17K a year, 30K a year, or 45. Like, I think the national average for some people is like 45K a year. Like, if you make above 75K a year, you're making pretty good money. but I don't know too many people who are making 75K a year. Like, I know some people, but not too many. And those people are older than me, in the late 50s, and they've already done way more shit than I've ever could so far. So I would say, really actively participate in your life. I know you hear this all the time, but are you really participating? It's easy to say like, oh yeah, I've done this and I've done that, but how far are you really going to perceive your dreams, And how far are you going to desire more? I don't know what your aspects are in life that you hope to achieve, but I don't think you're living up to them now, because I'm not even living up to my dreams. Heck, me making these videos is just me trying to figure out what I really want. I don't think anyone should just do things because it's easy. They should desire more and do things because it requires you to follow your dreams farther. I'm not supposed to be talking about dreams, I'm supposed to be talking about desire, but it's all one big synonymous circle, you get me? You can't have desires without having a goal, and you can't have goals without having a dream. I think they're all one big thing. It's a circle. People should be looking avidly to do something more with themselves because they should be desiring regardless. We want money things or very materialistic things, but it doesn't really seem like that'll get us anywhere. Like, you get the money, you get the car, you get the house, but then you live sad, unfulfilling lives, which I'm assuming I'm generalizing. But think about it. When have you ever felt the happiest? Was it in pursuit of some job that you wanted, or was it the idea of what could come with the job? Like, the dream should be whatever you desire it to be, and whatever you desire should be more regardless. Maybe I'm just talking on my ass, but I do think everything goes hand in hand. Your goals and your dreams align with something, and you desiring more helps feed those dreams. You could have a specific goal in mind, but desiring things outside of that goal is also imperative. You need to be well-rounded as an individual, just for your own self, for your own soul, honestly. I feel like we just desire the specific things that we want, and that's just limited because that's all we see in our society, or it's being governed around us as it's the most important thing that anyone could possibly do. But how often do you ask yourself, what do you really want? Like, you should sit down again and think like, damn, what are my true desires? What do I really need? What do I really feel like I want these days? I feel like due to the hustle and bustle of society, and not even just society, just life, we just get confused and we get warped up into like irrelevancy. Like, are you actively working towards a goal, or are you just working to get through the days, If you feel like your everyday week is the same as the previous week, you're doing something wrong. And you could just start by desiring right there. Desire to make your weeks feel unique every time. Even if the same routine happens, it doesn't have to feel as boring. I don't know, aspire to have more and just start pursuing more things. Going to Disneyland or eating your favorite teriyaki is cool and all, but you're gonna do that for 365 days for several decades. Several, not like one or two. I'm talking like six. Several was seven, but come on. You've already been alive for 20, I'm assuming. So, really go out there and have something that you really want more than what you already have now. That might sound like a word salad, but it's the truth. What you already have is fine. But what else could you have? What else could you be desiring that you don't know? Sit down and think about it. There's places I want to be in the country because I just have never thought about leaving the country. And it wasn't until I met people with open-minded perspectives and people who frankly just left the country multiple times that I didn't really think like, damn, what is so good about it? Like, some of us look up to rappers who leave the states all the time, and then we sit here and think like, damn, I'm fine in Milwaukee, I'm fine in Vancouver, I'm fine in Kentucky. Like, bruh, like, we all need to seek more. I don't know, maybe that's just my thinking, but you should desire more. It's a necessity. I think it lights a fire in every person's body or every human's mind and gives them a new ignition to just do something else or to continue on with what they're doing in life. And it gives you just a bigger and brighter and broader thought and perspective of what else you could be doing or looking forward to in your life. Because sure, you might have one intention for yourself and one specific goal at the end of the day that's always going to come into fruition. But how else can you round yourself out? And that's all that really matters. We're humans, we evolve. I think we're we're naturally social creatures. But in this day and age, I feel like the sociality of us is not that great. Let alone, I guess, the potency of us. Like, when I say by potency, I mean like the interest. All of us want, not all of us. I feel like some of us have really basic desires. And I hope that's not you. I hope you have something that you really want that you don't know about, that's lingering towards you to go this way in your life or makes you want to do something else that's different. At this point, I'm just rambling, but I just feel like, sometimes even when I ramble, you have to just speak. You can't just process something through a script. You just gotta be word for word in the moment and think intently. And for you, the listener, if you're here right now, I want you to just dig down in yourself and just think about, what else could I have? There's nothing else I can really tell you besides go desire more. Because just like I said earlier, even if you miss and shoot for the moon, you'll still land amongst the stars. And I ain't got else to say. Just getting this far was hard enough. But I desired to make another video.
I'm gonna cut. 3, 2,